once again, fellow boxing fans, and welcome back to another prediction video. Before I get into the content, I would just ask as usual that you would like, share, hit the bell notification, and most importantly, if you're watching, you might as well subscribe. You're just pressing a button, and it would help this channel out tremendously. Also, drop your requests. I'm trying to get these requests out as quick as possible in a timely manner, so just let me know which fights you want me to cover. I've looked over the whole list of fights I have left to cover, and I see every last one of them, and I'm going to get to you. So, without further ado, the fight I'll be covering in this video comes by way of request, and it is another interesting fight from Peter Garcia. I thank you for your request and for participating in the channel. And the fight that Peter wanted me to cover is Juan Manuel Marquez and Tank Davis at 130. Let's start off talking about Tank Davis. A few things that I see from Tank Davis is his crushing power, his accurate counterpunching, great jab, and Tank takes his time. He's not in a rush. He's trying to get the rhythm of his opponents down. Tank always finds angles. He can fight off the back foot as well as coming forward, and he has excellent 1-2 combinations. As far as Marquez, who needs no introduction, he's known for his speed, his volume punching, excellent counter punching, great footwork, and his aggressive style. And he's a great pressure fighter. Now, one or two things can happen in this fight. Tank Davis could become overwhelmed by Marquez's constant swarming and pressure. But on the other hand, Marquez can become overzealous and get caught with something. And so for me, it depends on who could get their game plan going sooner. And I realize that Tank Davis is still at the point in his career to where everyone isn't convinced and that he still has to prove himself, which is normal. But for me personally, I tend to get on board with fighters who are showing promise early. Now, with Juan Manuel Marquez, we have the benefit of hindsight with his career. We've seen all the great legends he has fought. We know his resume, and his legacy is sealed. His legacy is sealed. So it would be easy to go with Marquez from that standpoint. But we would have to consider both of these guys at the same point in their careers. And as I always say, we would really have to look at the stylistic factors in this fight. And when I do my breakdowns, I do my best to be as less emotional as possible and to be objective as possible. So I really try to leave my feelings out of this and try to give an honest analysis. So let's start making our way to the winner of this fight. And this is a hard fight to call. It's a hard one to analyze because there's so many factors at play, and they both have advantages going into this fight. As I mentioned earlier, Marquez's swarming style, his volume punching, his punching from all angles, but Tank's accuracy, his counter punching, and his power. So let's talk about defense for a second. Now, we all know that this is a boxing match, so you're not going to avoid all punches. Every fighter is hittable. But I feel that between these two, Marquez is the most hittable of the two because he takes more chances, and he does have a chin on him. So I would say he probably has a better chin than Tank. But on the other hand, Tank has that one-punch, fight-changing power that Deontay Wilder has. And that could definitely play a factor in this fight and put Marquez at risk. Juan Manuel Marquez is a skilled fighter, but he does tend to fight more off of heart and inspiration, whereas Tank is more calculating in there. Marquez is your classic boxer puncher, but I feel that Tank is more of a pure boxer or closer to a pure boxer than Marquez is, and I heavily favor the jab. But one thing that Tank Davis has in common with Floyd Money Mayweather is because of the way that he fights, because of his timing, because of his accuracy, he causes his opponents to drop their punch outputs. Now, could that be a possibility in this fight with Marquez? Honestly, it's a very big possibility. As a matter of fact, it's the most likely scenario from where I sit. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I know Marquez has the history, he has the resume, he has the legacy. But on fight night, there's only two guys in there, and you really don't take those things in there with you. You may take your experience, but in my opinion, the boxer, or the one that's closer to being the boxer, always has the advantages. And the more I think about it, I truly see this fight as a repeat of Marquez's fight with Timothy Desert Storm Bradley, to where Bradley was able to control the pace, the distance of the fight, and he was able to outbox Marquez. And I think Tank Davis, with all the attributes that I mentioned, from the jab, the power, the timing, the counter punching, I believe that he would be able to do the same thing that Tim Bradley did. So I'm going to go with Tank Davis by unanimous decision. Those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next video.